Hundreds take to Pikes Peak Sunday morning for what many cyclists call the ultimate test.
This is just very unrelenting and 6 hours of pain.
The second annual assault on the peak takes these gutsy cyclists nearly 25 miles up Pikes Peak. That's a vertical climb of nearly 8,000 feet. Wisconsin native Adam Zabler was understandably nervous before he hit the peak.
Yeah, I did Mount Evans last year just for fun. Didn't really know what I was getting into and don't know if I am today. So
for others, like retired pro cyclist Tracy Brown, it's more of a bucket list type of thing.
It's kind of cool to check it off your list. They only let you do it once a year.
But perhaps the most courageous rider this year is Drew Wills. Paralyzed 6 years ago, he now rides a hand bike. The work is much harder than riding a conventional one.
Maybe it's just the idea of not wanting to fail, and if you're able to complete those things, then I think in the end you feel like you've got a little more confidence, and that carries over to all sorts of things in life.
For him and others, the race transcends the course and becomes a metaphor for life.
I think you also find yourself out there. When you push yourself to your limits, you make, I think you open up some doors and find out.
Motorcycles and getting their maintenance done for the springtime, and it's time to ride.
But motorcycle accidents like the one depicted in this PSA from the Colorado Department of Transportation happen, especially now. Motorcycles are hitting the streets.
Just use exercise caution.
El Paso County often ranks first in the state for motorcycle accident fatalities every year.
Those rates are phenomenal, and just think about it.
J.D. Hilliard does. He's a rider and trainer at Pikes Peak Harley-Davidson.
I'm always continuously scanning and watching what's going on in front of me. I'm watching what's going on behind me.
But Hilliard says responsibility falls on everybody out on the road.
I think it's a combination of riders not being up on their game as well as they could be, and automobile drivers not used to looking for motorcycles.
The key, be aware of what's around you, because you never know. This could happen. It was last December when a huge fight broke out in front of a popular downtown nightclub. Shots were fired. That just one of a string of crimes in that same spot last year. We're standing outside what used to be 13 Pure nightclub. It's a different club now, but this area is definitely prone to crime, especially these last few months. Now, it's gone dark. Several lights shut off thanks to the city's budget concerns.
Well, it absolutely surprises me.
Darkness, even when the city says public safety is its top priority. Why would you guys shut off lights in front of an area that has so much crime?
Well, we've worked hard to be sure that public safety was involved in the decisions of which lights to be turned off. And I don't know the specifics of all the 8,000 lights that are being turned off, but that would be a good question for the police department.
So Lieutenant David Whitlock of the Colorado Springs Police Department says with the collaboration of the city, they're, quote, confident that public safety won't be diminished. He also says there's enough ambient light along Pikes Peak Avenue, so even in the dark, not every light is necessary. But for some, that isn't enough.
Downtown is where all your tourism is and all your restaurants and your businesses that are working, just not from 8 to 5. So downtown should have been left on.
Staying with friends or at hotels here in Colorado Springs, and one of the couples who lives here says had it not been for two good Samaritans pounding down their door, they may have not gotten out in time. When firefighters arrived around 2:15 Saturday morning, 2 apartments were already doused in flames.
Our neighbor was banging on our door, and he went to answer it, and on his way to the door, he saw the whole balcony orange in flames.
That knock came from a neighbor and a passerby who got Timmy Grolke and her husband David out of bed.
We put some robes on and ran to go outside, and then we went and got the cat, and as he was getting the cat, I was standing by the door, and the glass doors that separate the balcony from the living room exploded, and the fire just came inside really fast.
Timmy says she thinks the fire started on their balcony.
The only smoke detector we have is near our bedroom, which is the furthest room away from the balcony, and we had already gone outside and it still hadn't gone off yet.
And while the couple lost everything, they say they're grateful for the 2 good Samaritans.
We would have been trapped in our bedroom, but we were very lucky.
Now, this apartment complex requires that all tenants have renter's insurance, but Timmy says
Stacia, I have to say, I think I'm a little more prepared this year than I was last year. I actually have a helmet that fits me. This time around, a bike that's pretty cool, thanks to photographer James Egbert. Not a bad bike here. But I am about to head to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs for the Mayor's Ride, the annual Mayor's Ride. It's going to be the last ride for Mayor Lionel Rivera, so that should be fun. We're going to start at UCCS and then head to the Pioneers Museum for the Ride to Work Day breakfast, which is going to be a lot of fun. Now, if you're going to take to the streets this morning, folks, on a bike, let's give you some safety tips here. We'll start with the helmet. You got to make sure it fits, and like I said, this one fits me this year. Make sure the straps are nice and tight. As for the bike, you want to make sure the seat is tight, the handlebars are tight, check the brakes, make sure the chain is nice and oiled up. Also, you want to make sure the tires are good and full, and then when it's dark like this, you want to make sure you can be seen. So I've got a light on my helmet here. How about that? And also a light behind the bike here as well. And John and Stacia, I am ready to go. Hopefully I don't fall on my face. I will see you at UCCS in about 30 minutes. See you later.
You look like you're from Vegas there, Eric, with all those lights flashing. That looks awesome.
Hey, I got to be seen, John. I'll see you later.
All right, bye. See you later.
John and Stacia, I'm a little out of breath. It was a tough ride coming back, but I think I'm prepared to go on the rest of the way this morning.
Okay, hold on, Eric. That's not what we saw. Take a look.
Uh-oh. Eric, you've been caught.
I didn't know James shot that part of the video. I'm a little bit of a cheater. I'm here with Officer Iverson. They caught me. I told them I rode. But I'm going to ride with you guys at 6 o'clock for sure. But we're going to be out there. People need to be safe as well.
Absolutely. We're going to have a number of bicycles out on the trail and the roadway. Motorists need to just keep in mind that bicyclists act as motorists as well. And they need to treat them as motorists. Give them the room, give them the safety. You know, let them take the road if they need to, and just be cautious out there. There's going to be a few bikes on the road this morning.
Officer Brett Iverson, thank you so much. Al, come on down. Show us your cool quad bike you got going here. These are going to be one of the riders coming down with us to the breakfast, the bike to work breakfast. Pretty cool bike here. Real quickly, tell us your story. You got hurt, and this is what you got to ride today.
6 weeks ago, I broke 7 ribs and dislocated my shoulder. I was on a regular mountain bike. It's not yet time for me to ride in a regular position, but this works out just great.
Yeah, it's an awesome bike, Al. We're out of time. Very cool. I'm going to be riding with you. The mayor's going to be riding with me as well. I believe Jan Martin's going to be out here, City Council member Jan Martin. I'll see you guys in your nonstop news. Back to you.
All right.
Betty, actually, visibility has improved somewhat over the last half hour or so, but we're still dealing with a lot of wind. As I back away from the live truck, you can see some pretty strong winds that we're still dealing with here on Highway 24, making travel still fairly difficult. But regardless, it's been slow going out here all day today, and the winds really haven't let out a whole lot. Now, aside from causing delays, the weather can also be bad for business. Now, we spoke to a FedEx driver who was following his normal route when he hit a major roadblock.
Well, I was attempting to deliver, and I got out to Calhoun, and they said it was blocked off going out east, and that's my entire route is out east, so I have no choice but to turn around and go back.
Now, Pongate drives about 350 miles a day, and he tells us every time we have weather like this, he says it costs him a lot of money because he contracts with FedEx. Now, something else you should keep in mind if you're going to be driving out east here later tonight. With this blowing snow, it makes it that much harder to see any icy spots on the road. So if you will be traveling, make sure to take it nice and easy.
All state troopers could tell me is that this rollover accident is weather related. As you can see, the paramedics just arrived on scene. It does not appear that anyone is hurt, but they will check everybody out to make sure. Meanwhile, the roads here, we're at I-25 and Glen Eagle, and as you can see, snow is starting to cover the interstate, and the snow is picking up and the wind is also picking up. The conditions are getting worse here, and earlier today we were in Teller County where there are several inches of snow already on the ground.
Snow, cold temperatures, and wind. That's what folks in Divide, about 7 miles west of Woodland Park, are dealing with.
It's coming down really good.
As quick as it's coming down, Jake Marcus is on top of it, keeping the roads clear.
The roads are really slick. I've been slipping and sliding with my plow truck all morning.
The road conditions are getting worse in Teller County. Many folks are stocking up on groceries in case they get snowed in.
Lisa Powell stopped at the family-owned grocery store in Divide. to pick up water and a few other things for her diabetic daughter.
You see this and then you think, oh, I think I'll get a few more grapes and a little bit more sugar.
She's not alone.
I was at a bird seed and the birds come to my house when it snows.
Christine Ford lives in Park County and says the weather is even worse by her house.
They say it's supposed to go through tomorrow, so by then we could have a couple of feet out by our house. It gets pretty bad out there.
Now the roads are expected to get worse tonight as temperatures drop and things start to freeze over. So if you don't have to leave home, it's best not to.
KKTV photojournalist James Egbert spoke with one man who almost got more than he bargained for.
Just after midnight, we received a call from 911 for the Days Inn Hotel. One of the residents walked down to the front desk and notified the on-duty manager that there was smoke up on the second floor in the hotel. And when fire crews arrived 4 minutes after we got the call, initially they didn't see a lot of smoke coming until they came around one side of the building, noticed a little smoke building up. We did have one tenant that said he tried to grab an extinguisher, go upstairs to look for the fire, was overcome by smoke.
I ran to try to go upstairs to the second floor where I saw smoke coming down from. And then when I got to that second level, I started getting overcome with the smoke because it was really thick.
He's been treated on scene and released. We had plenty of water on the fire truck, and then they made a second connection. Another unit came in and was able to hook up to another water supply. So we had actually 2 hydrants that did work out of 3.
This evening, 11 News photographer James Egbert will take us along for the ride.
This is the 15th annual Starlight Spectacular. It's just a community event. As you were here, you experienced it. It's magic. People just have a great time. It's community getting together to celebrate cycling and to also benefit trails and open space. It is a magical event. Again, I got to experience it today, so that was really exciting. But just to see the camaraderie, the energy, you know, people had a great time.
The next entry, the blue shirt is going to now we got the margarita head.
We had a pre-registration count of approximately 1,100, and we had a registration on site of just over 200 and something.
Yeah, it's a great ride. The weather turned out much better than we expected with all the rain today, so lots of riders turned out for it. It's great.
Today we're practicing or preparing to deploy again to Iraq. We're gonna deploy this time as a security force assistance brigade, working with the Iraqi military, security forces, as well as Iraqi government to secure the populace in various means wherever we go in Iraq.
قال لي انه يمكن احتمال يصير تضرر بالمدرسه من الشعلة او من المناطق الخارجيه. لا الشعلة لمنطقتنا هون الشعلة ما نقدرش نجيب طالب. She's saying that we barely can cover the students.
We've got role players that are actual Iraqis, at least Arabic speakers. They're able to portray civic leaders as well as the populace in the town. This is another great opportunity for us to train some of the best soldiers that we have in the United States Army to prepare to go to Iraq and hopefully complete what our nation is intended to do there.
Through this, they learn the culture, they learn how people react emotionally to things that happens in town here.